Well, hello and welcome to today's video. Now, this video is not one that I plan to make, and certainly not one that I ever wanted to make. You may have seen my Facebook post on Sunday. You may well have seen my community post as well on here. But if you haven't, let me fill you in. I was in London doing some street photography. In fact, I was making a couple of videos for the London A to Z and finished making those. And I was having a drink in a local pub waiting for the weather to clear, with all my camera gear, all sat down by my side, tucked away. Got up to leave, put my coat on, looked down, my bag's gone. So someone had stolen my bag. Now in that bag was my camera, several of my lenses, my GoPro, my audio recorder, pretty much everything that I use to make videos and to take photos. So obviously you can imagine how confused I was at first, sort of thinking to myself, did I leave it somewhere? Have I moved it? Did I bring it in? I'm sure I brought it in. And then B, when it dawns on you what's happened, you start to feel a bit of an idiot. And to be fair, I do feel a bit of an idiot. I think I've got comfortable going to London so much and never having any issues. And although the bag was down by my side and tucked in between a chair and a table, it wasn't wrapped round anything, and it wasn't in contact with my person. So somebody obviously at some point has either come in and realised that I may have been distracted or looking at my phone or watching the telly or something, and seen the opportunity and taken the bag. So after discovering this, I went and asked if I could, or if anyone had seen anything for a start, to which no one had. Although someone did say that there was a couple of, like a young lad and a young girl who came into the pub sort of 15 minutes earlier and then sort of left quite quickly. But that could be anybody. That might not be anything to do with it. And then obviously I went and phoned the police, and they're looking into it. So they're looking at the CCTV. Now, the only blessing about this all really is the fact that I had my phone in my pocket, I had my keys in my pocket, and I had my bank card in my pocket. So the only things they took really of any value were the electronic goods, but they didn't take anything that they can use to get money out or anything like that. So that is one sort of silver lining to the big black cloud. But then obviously, where do you go from here? So that's my camera gone. It's my main lens gone. It's all my vintage lenses. Well, two of my vintage lenses gone. Both my street photography lenses gone. One of the lenses that I got was a 50mm Canon 50mm f1.4 vintage lens that I was using, which Alan Coles really kindly gave to me, and that was the first time I'd taken it out. I was using it, I was really enjoying it, and this is something we'll come on to. I'd had a really good time, and I think, I'm really gutted. I'm gutted that my stuff's gone. I'm devastated that I've lost my camera, and hopefully, it's all insured, and hopefully the insurance will pay out and there'll be no issue and I can just replace everything. And maybe even, because that camera's certain years old, and I think I got an old for new policy, so maybe I could look at getting a more recent camera. But it's not the point, is it? It's not the point. It's like, I just want my stuff back. I'd much rather just still have my stuff here, have my bag. Would have been able to just pick my bag up, walk out and go, because that camera's the only camera, or I'm the only person who's ever used that camera. That I've taken every shot on that camera. And the lenses are replaceable, of course. The two vintage ones are not quite so replaceable, but the lenses are replaceable. But as much, and I know this might sound stupid, but as much as the fact that all my gear's gone, all of those photos have gone. That whole day's worth of vlogging's gone, and I can never get that back. So I can get cameras back, and I can get lenses back, and I can do all of that, but I can never get that day back. And there were some shots that I took on that day that I looked on the camera and thought, do you know what, that's going to be a cracking image. That a couple really stick in my mind. One at Westminster Underground. There's another one of just off Oxford Circus with a woman on a bus, and it's all misted up because it was a rainy day, and so it was cold, and you had the misted up windows. And there's another one I took in Kensington that was very similar, very abstract shot, which you can't replicate. Those moments, you call it the decisive moment. Those moments will never be back again. I'll never ever get the chance to take the shots in the same places, but I'll never get that specific shot again. And because it was raining, I got loads of fantastic umbrella shots and some really nice candid stuff and photographs that I thought, these are really good. These are honestly some of the best shots I've taken, and I was really enjoying using the lens. But they've gone. So I just wanted to say, firstly, really huge thank you to everybody who's sort of sent their wishes and said, and a really massive thank you. I've had several people offer me the loan of cameras until the summer. I've had a couple of people offer to give me cameras and lenses and things. And honestly, that kind of, really restores my faith in humanity. And I want to say a big thank you for that. And obviously, I'm really hopeful that, I'm, pretty certain that the insurance is going to come through and we'll get everything back to where it was. But it's still very generous of you guys to offer that. And it's also very, very kind of the community, all of you guys, to be so kind and to say, I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. And I really feel for you. So I want to say, if you sent me a message, I'm pretty sure I've replied to them all, but if I haven't, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who sent a message. And and it's just something that I wouldn't wish on anyone, and I really hope that you guys will never have to experience that. Now, the one thing that I will say about it is that there was no threat involved. There was no threat to my person. There's no no violence involved. It was just from what I think, just an opportunist saw a bag by someone's side, not secured, took the opportunity and just took it and went. So, I don't want any of you who currently do street photography or spend time in London to suddenly think that, this is going to put you off or it's a violent incident, because it certainly wasn't. And in some respects, and I do genuinely believe this, central London is one of the safest places to take photos, because you're right, you may get there's stories of these guys on bikes who are swiping phones, but I can't ever imagine that. Well, I mean, surely I'm not going to say I can't ever imagine, but for me, it always feels incredibly safe because there's so many people there. It's, even at night, it's busy. There's a lot of sightseers there. There's a lot of tourists there. And of course, there's pickpockets and all this sort of thing, but there's no real violent crime that goes on in central London that was certainly not, as far as I'm aware, that would make me feel unsafe. So please don't let this put you off your street photography. But I would say, anywhere you go, I worked it out. It was £5,500 worth of gear in that bag, including that bag. And we maybe take that for granted as photographers. We take our tools for granted because that's all they are. They're tools, but they're expensive tools. They're very expensive, and it's not just the camera and the lenses. And there was a laptop in the bag, but it's batteries. My GoPro had batteries. It's the SD cards. It's the leads. I had 2 power banks in there. I had my flipping AirPods that got stolen as well, so I had nothing to listen to on the train on the way home. The bag wasn't cheap. I lost my hat and my gloves as well, and just the strap that comes with a camera. Just so much stuff that you just take for granted that you just is your gear and you don't even think twice about. So, just maybe use this as a lesson to you guys to maybe just think twice before you leave any of your valuable gear just sitting around for someone to pilfer. But I do want to say thank you. Again, I really want to say thank you to those who've, sent me well wishes and offered me stuff. And I, like I said, I'm really hopeful that it's not going to come to that. I'm hoping that the insurance will pay out quite quickly, and then we will see. I mean, the thing is, it's, I could in some respects, maybe look on the bright side because I can upgrade my gear, maybe get a better camera or a newer camera. But when all's said and done, really and truly, I was happy. I was really happy with where I was. I was happy with that camera. I was happy with the lenses that I had. I was just starting to build up a nice collection of vintage lenses. Of course, all the adapters have gone as well. So if I do want to, you know, I've got a few vintage lenses still left here, and I really want to sort of use them. But now I'm going to have to buy a new adapter or new adapters, and it's a bit gutting, if I'm honest. Now, if we talk about the future of the channel, God, there's a future to the channel. I'm not suddenly going to stop making videos just because I've had something bad happen. But obviously, you know, I had a couple of great videos ready to put out, and they're not going to see the light of day. And it's going to hurt, you know, it's going to hurt going back round the Jubilee line and back round Kensington, taking those shots, because I'm just going to compare them to what I've already got. Now, I've already got half a video of the Jubilee line done, because I've done half of that on a previous visit. So those shots are in the bank, but just lost all of those. So that's going to be difficult, but we'll carry on. We'll soldier on. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to let you know what's going on. It's just a bit of a nothingy video, really. But I just wanted to let you know what's going on. I wanted to let you know, that I'm not stopping. I'm not going to give up, and it's not one of those things, but it's just a question of waiting for things to resolve themselves. And I just wanted to say a big thanks, really, to everyone. And it just really does, you know, it was a horrible day. It was a horrible experience, but it's certainly taken the edge off it, having so many wonderful, lovely comments from you guys. So thank you, genuinely thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And I don't know, I might have to just do a few more Ranty Norman's Wisdom videos until I can get my camera back. So who knows? Keep an eye out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to say I hope you've enjoyed this, but I will see you sometime down the line.